Elephant Butte Lake is an oasis in the desert of New Mexico. Every year it draws thousands of visitors who enjoy recreational activities like camping, jet skiing, and fishing.
Most of the people that come to Elephant Butte are relatively local. They come from Albuquerque, they come from El Paso, Las Cruces, they'll come from Carlsbad, Deming, all around the state of New Mexico. We get a lot of people as far away as from Phoenix. Fishing is a big draw to our lake. It's probably the one thing that brings people here to start with. Before they find out that they can go water skiing and go speedboating, they come here and they go fishing for a weekend and they find this lake. What these fishermen find when they come here, there's a wide variety of fish in this lake. Everything from catfish to crappie to white bass to black bass to stripers.
The neighboring cities of Elephant Butte and Truth or Consequences rely on revenue brought in by these visitors. When Elephant Butte Lake's water level dropped dramatically in 2002, the local community struggled to regain the draw of visitors it had prior to that period. In order for the communities within Sierra County to thrive, Elephant Butte Lake needs support from the state of New Mexico to build upon its resources through recreation and fishing. Ultimately, this will benefit the local community and the state of New Mexico by bringing in revenue. Lake Amistad, near Del Rio, Texas, is an example of what Elephant Butte Lake has the potential to become. Like Elephant Butte Lake, Amistad is fed by the Rio Grande River and is nestled within a desert landscape. It is also a recreational destination.
Fishing is a big part of the Del Rio community. We are the closest lake to Midland, Odessa, San Angelo, a big fishing lake, lots from New Mexico.
In contrast to Elephant Butte Lake and its surrounding communities, Lake Amistad is a nationally renowned fishing destination, and the city of Del Rio, Texas has experienced tremendous growth due to an increase of fishing and recreation.
In 2005, I got a phone call from Bassmaster Elite, and they wanted to know if we would like to bring the Elite tournament to Del Rio, and I said, well, sure we would. So that began our real big growth out around the lake. Now, we've had growth around the lake, but it did not grow until the Elite tournament came in.
We have new subdivisions coming in here left and right every single day. And people are moving here, not only retired military because of the Air Force Base, but people who are fishing professionally want to live out here and do their tour stuff from here.
All of the lodging inside of Del Rio is thrilled to death to have fishermen come in. And if you'll look all up and down the highway and on their signs, it says welcome fishermen. We have RV parks, we have tackle shops. There's some restaurants that have come in that I'm sure that attribute to our growth.
Growth in the RV parks, there's only one word you can put it, full. All the RV parks are full right now.
Let me just give you some visitation, how the visitation from the National Park Service itself has grown. In the year 2008, now this was the year to date through September, 2,447,502. Year to date through September for 2009, we've had 2,337,995 visitors to date.
Elephant Butte Lake is the largest lake in New Mexico. However, the city of Elephant Butte is a small community with few retailers, hotels, and restaurants, and struggles with economic growth. Elephant Butte Lake State Park recorded more than 1 million visitors in 2009, but only 12 fishing tournaments took place that year.
I've been fishing in New Mexico close to 35 years. I've seen great times in New Mexico, and I've seen times in decline, and we're in a time of decline. I've been a visitor out of state, and I've been coming to Del Rio, Texas for probably 20 years. One of the reasons that I keep coming back here, as an example, is that when I fish in New Mexico, I might catch one black bass, depending upon the lake, or 3 or 4 smallmouth all day long, or some days no fish. And one of the reasons you come here is you can catch 35, 40, 50 fish in both quality and quantity.
Tournament fishing brings an enormous draw of visitors to Lake Amistad and the city of Del Rio each year.
Just for an example, the tournament for the registered tournaments for 2009 was 139, and 11 of them had over 150 boats. We have New Mexico, we have Oklahoma, we have them that come from New York, we have them come from Japan, we have them come from everywhere, but we've had Colorado come down here and have whole bass tournaments. So there's a lot of out-of-states that come down this way.
Well, to the community of Del Rio, you're talking in millions of dollars, along with the Elite Series and the Federation and the FLW and all those tournaments that come here. It's hard to fathom $7 or $8 million coming in per tournament when you're talking about the big boys.
With so many visitors coming through the city of Del Rio, businesses have experienced an economic boost.
I had a breakdown from a Texas bass couples. They broke it down to where there were some people that had to have their boats repaired while they were here. Some of them had an RV. They had to have some work done on their RV. They all went to the grocery store. They all went to the convenience stores. They all went to restaurants. You know, the majority of them, once they get off the lake, they've taken that peanut butter and jelly sandwich to the lake that day, and they're starving to death that night. So you're not going to tell me that not everybody profits from here.
Despite the number of fishing tournaments that come through every year, Lake Amistad continues to maintain an abundant fish population.
Texas Parks and Wildlife is too good about keeping fish in our fishery. They're too good about being able to see that the fish kill is as minimum as it can possibly be. And they do studies on the lake all the time. There's several tournaments that they come down here and they watch, you know, to see what the mortality of the fish are. The state of Texas Parks and Wildlife comes in about once a year with fingerlings and puts them in the lake. We have one of the greatest lakes and National Park Services, I think, in the country.
If it wasn't for Parks and Wildlife, this lake wouldn't be what it is today. They started in early 80s with the Florida bass fingerlings first put in here. They worked with the local bass clubs to get those fingerlings in here. Otherwise, we'd be dealing with native fish and fishing tournaments for 12 inchers instead of 12 pounders.
During the severe drought of 2002, Elephant Butte Lake experienced its lowest water level in recent history. The impact was devastating to local businesses and to the fish population in the lake. It's taken several years for both to recover.
Without a good harvest season for those fish and their eggs, we don't have fish the next year or for several years after. We really struggle for 3 to 4 years. It takes that long not only for the fish to build back to a dependable level, but for the word to get around and people to bring their kids back, and it starts all over again. So on the businesses, it's very hard. Our biggest challenge is the fact that our business is so seasonal. We have relatively 7 months to make 12. We're very busy during the season, and then in the wintertime, of course, we fall off. So our biggest challenges are finding things in the wintertime that attract customers, and fishing is one of those things that helps us get through the winter a lot of times, because this lake is a very good wintertime fishery.
The majority of our winter visitors that come here from Michigan and Illinois and all up in that area, they come down here and that's what they do. They're fishermen. They come down here to fish and they are on the lake probably every day, or at least 2 or 3 times a week. So they bring a great impact.
Elephant Butte Lake has been the primary economic force in Sierra County. However, with the recent development of Spaceport America, population growth is on the horizon.
With the development of Spaceport and with the development of several other major developments that we've had in Sierra County and things that are on the books and being talked about and being developed, we're bringing in something that we've never had before, and that is national and somewhat worldwide recognition. The Spaceport is gonna bring people into the community. We don't really know how many people into the community, but more importantly, it's gonna bring an image to our community. And if our lake is not viable, if we don't have fish, if we don't have beaches, if we don't have water, it's not going to impress anybody. And nothing will develop from that. It'll just be a spaceport, and they'll drive right by, and nothing will develop, and it'll be such a shame, because it's such a resource that we're not managing, we're not doing correctly, and nothing will happen with it. And then the people in the state of New Mexico will be the loser.
An economic boost from Elephant Butte Lake's recreational draw would help the communities within Sierra County support an increasing population brought in by Spaceport America and other industries. If the state of New Mexico would support Elephant Butte Lake by maintaining consistent water levels and fish populations, the surrounding communities will thrive, and so will our great state.
As they say, if you build it, they will come. And certainly we have the building blocks in New Mexico that if we can build upon that, we can build a national reputation as well as Amistad. It's important that our state leaders realize that we have a resource in our state that we're not fully utilizing as a tool for tourism, for youth of today, businesses of today, building blocks that we can use for tomorrow. We can do that, and as things change in New Mexico with leaders, we have to change and be prepared to move forward.